Jesus. So if you have that in your head, you can predict what the next card is going to be.
Valdez.
Theoretically.
Please.
What?
Please.
That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about TF's gold card. Or like his card cycle.
Yeah, his card cycle.
Yeah, from the game, second the game starts. Pretty pog.
So
As
after you pull it, how does the cycle restart?
no, it's from 0, 0, 0. As soon as
So it's always cycling,
Yeah.
even when you
Yeah.
have a card pulled.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow,
It's
that's
Yeah.
pretty difficult to keep track of. Obviously, there's no other programs that the players are allowed to use on the computers at the same time. But
Yep.
maybe if you're playing
No.
at home.
Not an add-on or something that like gives you an aura or like a hue around Twisted Fate.
No, it wouldn't even have to be an add-on. You could just program a literal, like, beats, you know, a thing that makes a different sound for the different beat.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone
Valdez,
should go out and do it, but, you know.
Valdez is a cheater. Not a big deal.
No, I'm not.
Well, speaking of cheaters, we
Just
did not,
theoretically, you know. Hypothetically. It's possible.
we didn't get any cheater recall in this
Yeah.
game.
No, there's no cheaters in this one.
Lost chapter on the Orianna. And so Twisted Fate actually is not in the kind of position that he would want to be in. And we're all just playing ping pong with waves.
Yeah.
While Olaf continues to full clear.
You would imagine that with a Lee Sin on your team, after having gotten
No.
both summoners
No.
from the support,
Nope.
you might want to pull the lane and
Wouldn't.
then try to set up a gank.
Incorrect.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, false assessment there.
Oh.
What you're going to need to do is farm.
Lee Sin needs to farm against the Olaf so that he can, you know, fall behind and essentially be less effective when he should be looking for early plays. I mean, I suppose Lee Sin's not bad at taking singular big objectives, like a dragon, like a Rift Herald, but you can see that position is already getting to work here, and the TP is going to come in from the Sivir. They will be taking down this initial Ocean Drake extremely quickly.
Yep. And interesting enough, yet again, by the way, this is the second day in a row that we've seen the Orns do this. They don't do it anymore in EU and NA, but here in Korea, they do build the Bomby Cinder very early, rather than the double, well, the double Ruby, I guess. Or did he have the double Ruby and get the Bombies and I'm just a clown? I mean, that might be...
Oh, here we go. VDD should have to flash away from this one. They do force the flash, but you're not going to get too much more than that after the initial stun does come in. You know, maybe if it was a jungler that had more CC and not Olaf. But that's not the way it goes here. Olaf is going to farm, and he's going to get the flash out of the Orianna and be able to run at her later on in the game.
Well, they do apply some pressure, but for the most part, everything has been going pretty smooth sailing. Chovy with the Merc Treads as his first pickup, has the Dark Seal with the Corrupting Potion as well to boot. And Olaf is continuing to farm here, as is the Lee Song. After the blue buff, he's going to get right to work on that Grom.
Hell yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like the Grom Prey?
It's my favorite kind of jungler.
I know it is.
Lee Sin down 3 camps.
And I mean, all right, so after Lee Sin just finished killing Lord Grompulus Kevin Ribiton of Croaksworth, he's gonna now make his way over to the Rift Herald. That's Grom's actual name.
Is that his real name?
That's actually his real name, yeah. I know.
See, nobody
Please
pays
contain.
attention to the lore, so nobody knows these kind of things. But LS, lore specialist over here, he understands, guys. He gets stuff that you wouldn't even imagine belongs in this game. I mean, just incredible.
Some people might be wondering, well, what happened to Agatha and Bertha, the previous Groms? Well,
Yeah.
the season cup happened. Right. They left.
Yeah, we don't talk about them anymore. They got fired after that one. We're just kind of chilling here. There's really not much going on in these games. The most action that's happened is a trade in the bottom lane at level 1. and objectives of one apiece going either way.
And, well, I mean, normally when you pick Twisted Fate, what you want to do is actually pull your wave so that he can Destiny Gate in behind the opponent and then maybe secure a kill. Alternatively, you can coordinate dives relative to your jungler's path. There's also currently a Raptor camp and a Gromp camp up that Olaf could be eating. And instead we're running around, Sivir, pushing the bot wave in.
Yeah. We talked about this yesterday. Always be pushing. It's not always be closing. This is kind of the motto of the LCK teams. Every single team does this.
Yeah.
Always be pushing as hard as you can. You just watch them do this over and over.
They would be very good at childbirth.
Yes.
They would.
True.
Actually, yeah.
Or lifting weights, right? You gotta push the bar off your chest, right?
It's true. I mean, that's why LCK has the, you know, the most Chad of players.
True. Yes, very true. Especially Brad. We love him. I was hoping that, you know, this is something I actually wanted to talk about. Carry on Yuumi is really not enjoyable for me. He's like pretty much the best mechanical support in my mind, and he's being put onto Yuumi now. Yuumi has the ability to... Okay, nice little trade here. Doran might get dove. The TF coming in, though, in the flash. Oh, they're going to try to turn this one around. Looking, they didn't want to go on to Ornn, but they are going to go on to him now with the exhaust coming out here from the TF. They might have enough. Rascal desperately trying to get in there and clap, and he will. Claps the face of the Wukong and picks up the first blood. Had to burn his flash, but so did the Wukong, so it's not bad at all for him.
And, I mean, when you consider Orianna's getting back into mid lane right now, there's no one to pick up that farm. This just means that TF's going to lose it. I'm actually surprised Olaf is not just gunning it straight to mid. And it looks like he's finally going to make his way over.
He's going to try to kick him after that last one goes down.
Yeah.
Here it is. There it is. The flash comes in. I think Jovi might just die. He's waiting, and there it is. Nicely set up by Clid. AFK play works out in the end.
Well, he definitely put the sin in Lee Sin right there. Was Clid, and it ended up working out. So very good play nonetheless. Gen G now lead by 200 gold. The issue, though, is that not a whole lot is really going on elsewhere. I mean, they're going to finally summon the Rift Herald here. They're going to get BDD quite a few plates, sharing it with Lee Sin a little bit. Doran does ding level 10, so he does have an XP lead over Rascal, but Chovy is behind. He has teleport, and he went top lane with it. So it looks like we're going to experience a lane swap here.
AKA LS.
Yeah.
Just another LS. Can't get away from them here on the Rift.
And,
well,
Mountain goes the way of Gen G. That's a nice pickup for them.
Doing it's Infernal, not Cloud Soul. Those are the two options that we do have here. So Infernal's going to be really nice for both sides even. As we'll take another look at this replay that Rascal set up essentially.
Yeah, and the flash out of the way by Doran. You have Kyoshig. He's doing the golems, comes in, and at this point, Doran does not need to input those extra autos at all. He could have just ran for the hills. He never would have died.
다음에 탈죠 내가 뭐. 될 듯? 너네 알아서 해?
That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything else. We were waiting for the commentary from Clid. He was talking about the pre-setup. He's like, I think I got this guy. And he did in the end. So finally the Lee Sin doing something in this one.
And Kyoshig okay.
This is interesting.
Yeah, they cannot dive him.
No.
I believe.
BDD has TP as well.
Yeah, BDD has TP. And
this is a little bit of a blunder, I think. I mean, they're going to try to pull this off, but the turret goes down.
They can dive him with the minions, but the teleport would come in, and then Oriana's
Yeah, they think
here.
they have the damage here, and Jovi's tanking so much with the stopwatch. They finally do get him, and actually, the double kill is going to come in here for DRX. The rotation, perhaps a little bit late, as Klid is going to try to pull this off. Doran on guard duty, but he nearly gets Pyosik anyway.
Yeah, so when the minions are there, they can execute that dive. The initial one was really weird because Ornn was able to remove the entire minion wave. But on the dive where they had the minions to initially buffer the damage, means that that turret does not get to ramp up at all. Teleport coming in by Oriana very late to arrive to the party, and so BDD just donates a kill over. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Ruler finally does pick up the turret.
Watch the timing of
Yeah,
the
I mean, the TP should already be going.
Should be a second or two earlier.
He's getting no value. Just look at mid lane. They already crashed in the wave. He had nowhere to go on the right-hand side of the map.
Yeah.
The TP should have just been there very prematurely to dissuade that from happening, and if not, then you're there to maximize your value with Ornn.
Okay, trying to set up a kill here. He's got red buff, but the cooldown on his Q won't come up in time. He's going to push Doran out of lane. But, yeah, I think he was looking at top. He's like, oh, Rascal's probably tanky enough. If they dive, I'll go. But, as you said, I think that can't be the thought process. He has to say, I need to deny this because we got a win already. We don't need another win with the bait. As BDD, he doesn't have anything but cleanse here. He is going to use it in the end, as well as stopwatch, but he's already dead. There's no reason to use either of those things as BDD.
Yeah, I'm not
making a couple of mistakes here in this game.
I'm really not sure what he was trying to do there. Also, he's going for the Seraph's Embrace, Oriana, but there's not any hard nuke on the enemy team. So that one is also a bit surprising. And here in this game, I mean, Infernal Dragon's coming up in a minute. DRX, they've amassed themselves a 2,000 gold advantage. Olaf has Warmogs, but I don't believe he has the passive yet for it. So we'll
it's pretty early.
Yeah, we'll see when it ends up panning to him. What his HP is at? Maybe we'll get panned to him soon.
He was there on our screen.
He was there on our screen, but
no.
Yeah, this is very.
Jono Strong says no.
All right. Well, we take a look at this replay here now. BDD, I'm very surprised. He threw out the Q, pulls the ball back to himself, uses the stopwatch, uses cleanse, throws out the R, and the only reason that he's not R'ing prior to that is because Sivir. So
yeah,
not able to really do anything. In 15 seconds now, Deft is but he really wants the Sivir.
We're looking for BDD here. End life potentially. Here comes Doran and BDD again with no summoners. But where's the damage? The Q will come in from both, and they do pick it up. The follow-up ultimate from the Wukong might just be enough as they're running in there. Here comes Olaf, the big boy, as now Klid might also bite the dust. No, he is going to get away. And Rascal, look at his TP. It's like 10 seconds away. The timing is perfect from DRX to capitalize.
Yeah, and I mean, DRX, they managed to make this happen. BDD is just having one of the most off games I've ever seen out of him in, I don't even know how long. Chobi's just going to go top lane and going to proc the bone plating and then return. Doesn't want to miss out on those minions.
Ooh.
Take it away.
No, you take it away.
Not my Chobi.
That's your Chovy right there. Pyosik coming in here. And he's actually going to leash it for Klid and Rascal. But again, that is a TP used to pick up that first Infernal, which it will not be available for the next Infernal. So interesting decision there to try to push for that original one. As we're going to take another look here at the replay. As BDD gets caught out, so does Life, though, originally.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone's just in a really good position to make this work. And you have to ask yourself, with Rascal's teleport coming up so late, I mean, he's not going to be able to get here, right? But why is he going to top lane in the first place? That's the question. Now, we know that Ornn comes from a Forge, but you'd think he had a hot date in top lane to get to, but the minion wave was just resetting. So we can easily just go to the dragon and then let the minion wave just reset, not waste his teleport at all.
Yeah.
and then be there for the fight. Not that it probably would change anything given the positioning of life. They would still probably just end up losing the Infernal.
They'd probably lose life and then maybe save BDD, but most likely lose both of them and then lose the Infernal. So it's funny the way it works out. They actually end up getting the Infernal because he was able to TP in there with the help of Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Pick up the kill.
I am really interested to know what Twisted Fate's passive is at right now. I'm very, very curious how well Chovy's been rolling on those die. And yeah, Olaf just recently entered the Warmog threshold. Not only does he have another level, he has a Giant's Belt too.
Oh, they're going again. Gold card is going to land, but that was a nice ultimate from BDD. Finally, he's able to hold off one of the engages.
Yeah. Comes at the cost of his flash, but ultimately not the end of the world.
Yeah. Here comes Chovy again. He's really fast, and he's got a Yuumi. The Yuumi pick, you know, I'm not super happy to see carry on it, but it's great for this comp because you have Sivir, Olaf, TF, even Wukong. Everybody on your team is going to be looking to run and chase down and dog down the enemy team, so it is a great pick to go along with their composition.
Yeah, absolutely. Ornaments are starting to come in. Rascal has them. A bit interesting as Lee Sin going for the Black Cleaver. Now, there's no tanks on the side of DRX. I mean, Olaf is just starting to get armor, but this is going to mean that even when that Black Cleaver is giving less 10 than a lethality item on most of the targets on the side of DRX, which means that Lee Sin's initial QRQ combo with E would just deal more damage with the lethality item, and none of his teammates are really benefiting from the armor shred either. I mean, Ezreal, to an extent, but Lee Sin's single target. So Ezreal and him have to be hitting the same exact member.
Yeah, that's just it's an item that LCK players love to build, and sometimes we have to call them out when it's not necessarily the best choice. It's gonna look to ult depth here, but it's Sivir, so I mean, yeah, pulling at straws, I suppose. Your boy Chovy picked up an item that you're very fond of.
Honestly, it's one of the most underappreciated items in all of League, just because even if it's at 0 stacks, the threat of just getting 2 kills and an assist, or it is so easy to hit that 10 stack threshold to give you
one team
such
fight.
Insane value. Yeah, it really is. So when you have Darkseal, you're sitting there, you're in a solo queue game or something, you have 6 stacks on it. If you're sitting at 1,000 gold, don't get a Blasting Wand, just get a Mage Eyes. In more cases than not, and even in competitive, Mage Eyes is such a good item to get when there's a lot of downtime. It's going to be a lull state because it's a way to amplify things. Likewise, if you're hemorrhaging and you're losing really badly, it's also an item that you can pick up if you acknowledge that, well, the series of events that would need to happen in order for us to come back and win this game, Mage Eyes is going to pole vault it even faster. So 6-0 in mid lane, down 7,000 gold, and you have the gold, you just purchase Mage Eyes. You don't get a needlessly large rod or something like that.
It's not going to help you, but 10 stacks will, actually. So it's a good point. It does make sense. And I mentioned this before, Rascal's not going to have TP for this, but he's going to be here for the next Infernal Drake fight. So we're all going to be gathering up here. We should have a pretty clean 5-on-5. Let's see how this one goes down as TP used here by Doran into the bottom side. Should have been spotted, I would have imagined. We're going to wait for DRX to start this one up.
Well, here is the Infernal, and this fight is going to be do or die. Most likely for Genji.
Yeah, helping to
does have the cat on him.
Chovy, a little bit of an awkward spot. Ruler going for the assassination, but Doran in the backline is doing so much. A big Ori ultimate is not going to do enough, though. He doesn't quite have the damage right now, and so the CC out of the Wukong is going to be so much more, and Ruler was not quite able to assassinate that back line of Chovy, who is, again, not, you know, he's pretty tanky, actually, with the Roa and the Lich Bane. So he's going to be able to stop that damage, and DRX able to just wipe them in that fight.
Yeah, it was a really interesting decision what Ruler was trying to do there. I'm not totally sure Because like you mentioned, Chovy, he has magic resistance, he had armor as well. So a lot of Ezreal's damage is being hit. He doesn't have any pen going for him, and like you mentioned, he has that Rod of Ages. So TF is a big boy to actually try to just nuke.
You can't.
You can't just nuke him. I mean, take a look at this team fight.
Level 15
So,
too.
I have no idea what Rascal's waiting for on his ultimate. It was the weirdest thing in the world. He's like, well, yeah, Wukong, I mean, just come into my whole team first. Lee Sin doing Lee Sin things. And Ruler...
Oh, now I'll do it.
Yeah, it was like he realized his mistake. So unless there's a replay bug or something and he didn't have the ult, I don't know what he was trying to do, because waiting for DRX to pull the trigger is always a bad move.
No. You got to be fighting front to back. You don't want a Wukong to knock up your entire team and then have Orianna just sitting there like, oh, what do I do? I guess I'm going to throw out an ultimate and then just die immediately after, especially when you're from behind, as he's TPing to get out of this one. Should be able to. Didn't want to die, and now they're saying, well, maybe we can actually pull this into a kill onto Doran, but it doesn't look too likely. Nice knock up there from Doran. Just going to deny it. And, yeah, so he uses his TP in a really awkward spot. As here we go, dogging him down again. Klid has to flash from that one. You can see that depth. He's like, do I flash this wall? Do I get in there? But thankfully, he made the safe choice for himself, thankfully. And did not get in there. May have gotten the kill, but would have died with Baron. May have left Yuumi to die, gotten his team in a bad spot, so. They end up just getting in there, getting the flash, getting a bit of damage down.
Yeah, they have almost a 10,000 gold lead here. It's at 9K right now, but Baron's still persisting for about 1 minute.
Take a look at these levels.
Yeah.
This is insane.
VDD is 3 leveled right now in mid.
And Life is level 8. So he's like he went AFK halfway through the game. He's like, oh, sorry guys, I'm back. Let me start playing again.
Well, he's trying to catch up, all right? Yumi's only 12. Come on.
Yeah, well.
By the way.
You know. Yumi's down 2 levels on her 80 carry, and then Life was 4 levels behind her.
Yeah.
That's difficult to pull off, but I suppose he wanted to give all the solo XP to the rest of his team. And he's got his stone plates already, so he's going to do his job of engaging and then just trying to survive for as long as possible and create havoc in the team fights.
And at this point, I mean, we have Obsidian Cleaver. There's other ornaments that are starting to come in. You also have the Frozen Fist on Ezreal. Now, there's an enormous amount of HP stack on the enemy team. Enormous amount. Will we see a Leandres on Ezreal? Probably not. But it would be much better than Blade of the Ruin King in a situation like this, where Ezreal and Orianna, they have to try to wither the opponents down prior to a fight. Because if the team fight just breaks out and bursts, then you're not really going to get anything accomplished at this stage of the game. It's going to be mostly on pre-poke.
Nice.
Rapid Fire Cannon picked up by Twisted Fate to make his gold card that much scarier, given that he has the extra range now.
Chovy just looks so satisfied with himself there in the player cam. He's like, I'm in control of this game. Highest level right now, level 17. They're looking, okay, well, again, it's Sivir, but he tried for it, as now Doran is going to engage and Rascal is left all alone. They might try to re-engage here with the gold card, but no, Rascal's out, and here we go. Everybody's rooted, everybody's knocked up by the Wukong. And that might just be the nail in the coffin here for Gen G. Everybody is getting routed. Ruler running for his life. And Steph is not going to give up on this one. He wants to declare himself the better AD carry in this game, but Ruler actually will get away for now. But it does not matter. The game is going to get away from Gen G. As Ruler says, take me with you. And that should be it.
Yeah.
About 29 minutes, and DRX has game number 1.
And, I mean, that's a stomp. I mean, I don't know what is going on today here at LOL Park, but Sandbox versus Damwon, and now DRX versus Genji. This is... I don't even know what to really say this is, but it's a massacre. Pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like pretty much every player on DRX had a good game. Doran had the one mistake around the gank onto Ornn, but then after that his engage is really good on the Wukong. It's not like he was actually the damage dealer, because he had so much damage to follow him up. He was always getting everybody up in the air, and then having, you know, all the speed and Olaf and TF and everybody to follow up with Sivir ultimate. It was really good play. Not to count out anyone else,
No.
that was just one thing I noticed.
The early game was one of the slow... It was very, very dull relative to the champions that were in it. That was what was so bizarre and perplexing. And, I mean, the game just fell completely apart. And BDD having, by far, one of the most off games I've ever seen him have.
Yeah, I think he knows it too. He's got his hands on his head. He knows he's got to kind of reset after that one. It's a rough loss to take for sure for anyone, but especially for BDD where the expectations are so high. It's even harder to take. And yeah, I mean, Genji did not look great in that one. The Lee Sin, can we just like
global ban it?
Can we,
you know what?
global caster ban it?
Here's what the Korean community needs to do. They need to go into sandbox mode with Lee Sin
and figure something out.
Yes, as an they need to band together and play that champion over and over, looking for recreatable bugs.
Yeah.
And they need to get the champion
bugs and exploits.
Yes.
Make that champion unplayable.
That is exactly what they need to do.
It did literally 0 in this game.
Oh, it's such a pathetic champion in competitive.
What do you think, Renekton or Lee Sin? What's worse?
Brendan, do you have stomach problems again?
No.
You need to.
No, I'm just saying. You know, I'm just not a very big fan of either of them either. Yeah, I mean, Ezreal did a lot of damage, but even when they were behind, I felt like Genji were kind of floundering and not really playing the team fights very well either. So just a very off game from Genji as a whole. Yeah. DRX looking great once again.
Yeah, I mean, Rascal had that one good turnaround in top lane, but it was also because Doran allowed him to. So
yeah. That was really it. That was like the one moment.
That was really it. There was really no resistance coming out from Genji there. So we'll see what game number 2 has in store for us, but Genji just look off tonight.
Yep, they do. And DRX really on a roll. We'll see if they can pull off the 2-0. We'll find out after this short commercial break.
가도 되고.
갈게. 가자.
그래? 오른한테 골카 먹였고. 오공한테 오른부터 앞에 거부터.
오른.
오공한테 붙을게. 오공 들어가도 돼. 해줄게. 들어가자.
가자.
오리 하나 묶었고. 오리 하나 잡았고. 리신. 나이스. 끝내러 가자. 미드 가자. 알아서 잡아 거기. 506이 뭐야 이거? 개꿀잼이. 내가 볼 수 있는 사람 이거? 502.
이거 죽여줘라.
힐이 줘.
야 앞뒤 좀 들어가.
빠르다. 어 쉣.
하하.
야 유미 개꿀잼. 냥냥. 잘했다 다.
야이 경기 잘해서
다음 판
이기고 가.
생각하자. 오케이 나이스.
올라프 오랜만인데 괜찮네.
잘했다.
유미 있으니까.
완벽했다. 나를 둘러싼 모든 것들이 완벽했다.
강팀주님, 요즘 서부팀 경기 잘 안 보시는 것 같아요. 트렁크 한번 봐봐요. 거기에 뭐 숨기는 것 같던데?
선우, 해설하다가 급하게 나갔어. 너한테 가는 것 같다. 조심해. 동부팀 경기 보는 거 눈치챈 것 같아.
동부팀 경기 봤어?
I saw it. 봤어. 꿀잼.
나도 봤어. 허니잼.
모든 게 완벽했다. 나를 둘러싼 모두가 완벽하게 나를 속이고 있었다. 재밌니? 혹시 너 알고 있었어? 어우, 야, 태호 그 자식이 꿀잼이라고 한 경기만 보자 그래서. 나 몰래 동부 경기도 같이 보고 네가 내 친구가 맞긴 하니? 당연하지. 그렇다면 분석 똑바로 해 이제부터! 재혁 씨, 대체 왜 동부는 재밌는 거야?
선우 씨 괜찮아요? 선우 씨, 선우 씨 괜찮아요? 뭐요? 한옥 씨.
더 이상 강팀준이 아닌 거야?
난 네가 사랑에 빠진 게 죄는 아니잖아. 꿀잼.
이런 갓나 새끼.
너도 보고 싶잖아. 동부팀 경기 보고 싶어 죽겠잖아, 당신. 아니야?
이게 나야.
엄마 아빠 뭐가 그렇게 쉬워? 아니 언제는 강팀이 최고라며.
내가 미치겠는 거 동부팀과 서부팀을 동시에 좋아한다는 거야.
그러게 남의 바로 함부로 치는 게 아닌데. 맞아요. 저 싱글이라고요. 혼자 사는 게 무슨 문제인지 말씀을 해보시라고요.
LCK 걱정하지 마. 내가 후원하도록 하지. 친해질게.
저도 LCK 들어가고 싶은데.
찬성 하시는 분?
난 찬성.
건대영.
저도 찬성이에요.
Welcome back everybody to 2020 LCK Summer Split, the game number 1 of the second match of tonight. DRX had another promising victory. First off, how did you guys like the draft? Both teams got a very balanced comp. To be honest, Genji took a very later game comp and they were focusing on the late game team fight, but they were trusting on the strong laning phase from Rascal. And it seems like LCK teams made a consent to kind of trade Aphelios and Ezreal for the bot card, but at the same time, this time around, DRX actually answered to B1 Ezreal with Siva. DRX with Yumi, and also this pocket pick, Siva, was a really good card into Ezreal. Overall, there weren't too many upsets in terms of pick and bans, but this Siva card works so well up against Genji comp. So let's take a look at the first Destiny gate onto the top from Chovy. This was a very kind of new style of top dive coming from DRX. Chovy took a very early Destiny onto the top side and was crashing in the wave up against the second tier turret. But this was a very risky choice because this was not a very forced play coming out from the RX. They actually could have just skipped it, but they were giving a really high risk, high return play, and they were able to pull it off. Ornn has TP, Ornn is still sustained, so it was not that easy for them to pull it off, but this time around, all 3 players were on the same page and they were really jointed, taking down Ornn and also BDD with Orianna. Moving on, we want to discuss more about Siva pick. You could see how DRX played Siva into Ezreal. So they were keep repeating this with Yumi and Siva comp. Siva just crashed in the wave and Ezreal had to answer this. So watch here. The Siva once again push mid really hard and then rotate to the bot side. Based on their high mobility, they were very proactive all around the map. So here's another repeat of this severe wave clear. So DRX's macro was on point today on this severe. Just like Daph did, they can just push mid lane and all the 5 players can group up in the side lanes and they can easily outnumber the opponents. maybe some of the LCK teams could have forgotten that Silver is a viable pick, thinking too much about Aphelios and Ezreal, but we could see that still Silver is a very sustained and viable pick in the current meta. Especially Deft and Keria, they understood this comp really well, and they piloted it as a premier players. Then let's check out who the player of the game for game number 1 was. Toby on Twisted Fate. Toby winning the first POG of the split, even though DRX already got a series win earlier this week. But this top turret dive was the point where DRX gained huge priority all around the map. Toby was playing Twisted Fate up against Orianna for 2 games in a row, which was a blind pick, but he has been pulling it off really well. So maybe the opponents, it's time for them to consider actually banning it away from Toby. Toby's Twisted Fate is so versatile. He has a very strong laning phase, and at the same time, his roam ability is on point. Because typical Twisted Fates, they're actually really weak during the laning phase, but that was not the story for Chovy. And today, we got a unanimous POG over here, Chovy winning all the votes from the POG voters. Then let's check out whether he can keep this vibe or whether Genji can turn it around. It's game number 2, Genji versus DRX.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you, G-Sun, for the wonderful translation once again of the analyst desk. And I know a lot of you guys may be confused about that K-drama that we had on during the break. It is a parody of the Korean drama, which is called Bubuye Sege, which is, it's really a drama about like marital issues and stuff like that. So they wanted to do a direct parody of it. Apparently there's also a BBC show that it's based off of called Dr. Foster or something like that. And so you guys may be able to look that up if that's a little bit easier for you. But anyway, that's the context behind what we're trying to do. The first time around, we did it off of Sky Castle, I believe is the name of the first Korean drama we did. You could also find that one somewhere on YouTube, probably on the LCK YouTube somewhere. So anyway, hopefully we can do more fun stuff like that in the future. But now we have to get into the League of Legends. DRX up against Genji, round 2.
Yeah, and let's see what this ban pick has in store for us, Valdez. And if you learned anything from that mid-game segment, just remember, that's why you don't touch others' back.
Yes, thank you, Cloud Templar, for that word of advice. Thank you, LS. Hey, he's the one who said it on the video. You don't have to give me that.
Wasn't the character's name, Valdez.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to watch that drama now so I get some better context. I'll do my studying next time.
And Set is going to be banned away by DRX along with Kalista. Varus and Ezreal now on the side of Genji. And maybe DRX just bans Aphelios. And we see where we go from there. Maybe Genji also ban away Twisted Fate instead, as Syndra was removed from the table.
Yeah, Chovy has shown multiple times he is not scared of blind picking TF. And so that begins to strike fear into the heart of your enemies when you do it twice, and you win twice with it. So it's definitely a consideration here. But instead they're going to take away the Karma, leaving Aphelios, TF, Yumi. A lot of this stuff available, and they're going to say, well, Aphelios is pretty good. Let's take that.
And Ashe is being hovered as the response out of Genji. Now, we saw Ashe earlier in the week. Not super impressive for the damage. but obviously she's being picked for other reasons. And Trundle being picked up as well. Really like the splash arts for Ashe and Trundle. Very on theme with one another right now.
Freljord.
Yeah.
Right.
Looks like Ashe is about to command her troll to run at the opponents as Kindred being hovered and maybe...
Nope. Nope, Chuck Testa, a.k.a. TF.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, I said nope, and then I just wanted to say Chuck Testa, so I threw it out there.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
And a Zed hover, maybe to taunt BDD.
Yeah. Big Zed, I dare you.
Yeah. And now Nidalee being hovered.
Okay.
And it's going to be locked in here for Pyoshik. Azir, one of the rougher matchups for Twisted Fate, is going to be locked in for Genji. And we shall see what ends up happening here now, as the ban phase is going to go underway. And now maybe Genji just try to target supports.
Yeah, Bard Nautilus perhaps.
Brad does get locked up.
Mr. Chad himself.
And speaking of Brad, remember guys, the end of the series, there is the North American LPP Bard Skin and Chroma plus Champion giveaway. There's going to be 5. They're going to flash on the screen when all is said and done. You'll have to screenshot and try to type in the codes.
Yeah. If you're really fast, I think it might be faster to like have it on a second monitor or something.
Yeah.
And just like type it in real quick.
Yep.
That would be my guess.
And if you manage to get it, your face will look like Bard's in his flash art. It'll be pretty nice.
You'll have the Pogger's face like he does forever.
Cannon is going to be banned away here. Thresh as well. And now Mordekaiser removed from the table. It's hard for me to really read what either of these teams are thinking when banning away these champions because things are so wide open.
Yeah.
And Braum.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, Braum's just going to end up getting picked here. And this is where other Enchanter supports just really come in and then laugh really hard at the opponent. Yuumi obviously still available. And Yuumi and Nidalee, that's a cat duo that is very scary in the later stages of the game. Yuumi Twisted Fate will dog you down.
Yep, we already saw that.
I have no idea what this ban pick is. It is so generic and standard out of Gen G's, but it is disregarding entirely what the opponents are throwing at them and picking.
Okay.
And we talked about this the last series.
Today.
The Malphite to try to straighten up the monkey in top lane. Also, you get the 2-for-1 on the Yuumi target. Malphite he's pretty big.
He enjoys his lanes.
He's also kind of off theme with the other splash arts. There's definitely like that blue and yellow hue, and then Malphite's just there. And honestly, it looked like he had something for lunch.
Where
wasn't sitting very well.
The green is coming out of not only his mouth but his eyes as well. Where is Malphite from? Do you know?
Ooh,
what region? Lore specialist. Come on.
I'm really failing here. I think
maybe you should check your book.
Kiana's region, I think. I'm not. They just made it recently.
Which one is that?
They made it for her, like in the lore.
Oh,
expansion.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. Wukong, Nidalee, Twisted Fate, Aphelios, and Yuumi. Lots of smoke and mirror in the later stages of the game. And a lot of early game pressure that is able to be dished out through the mid and jungle. But the really scary thing is that top lane is gonna bleed if they don't manage to do something. And so expect expect Chovy and Pioshek to try to pay close attention to that lane. But the problem is the way Malphite can itemize is a little bit problematic for this DRX team. It was a nice R5 save. It was a very nice way to shore up a lot of the problems in the draft and really bail them out here, because the R1 through R4, very, very, very lackluster. The problem is that everything hinges on that Malphite. And if he doesn't get ahead enough, or if he can't draw enough pressure and offset the imbalance elsewhere, it's still going to be a really big problem. Well, I don't mind Gen.G's team composition here, and that the Malphite is 1v9 potential. I think that DRX is still going to walk away with this one.
Alrighty. We'll see if that does.
Yes, Scorch, I take back everything.
Oh. No, I mean, you said that DRX was going to win anyway, so maybe you want to keep that?
Well, I'll keep that, but I...
Especially because of the Scorch?
He's laughing at you. And honestly, I really like the Shamrock Malphite skin. Whenever I would talk about that on stream, I would say that specifically you do this to blend in with brushes. You gotta go with the camouflage as much as possible.
Yeah.
And
is that the reason?
That there's some, you know, color blindness maybe present.
Every advantage, perhaps.
This is scary because a teleport from Wukong could just end the game, and Malphite can't stop it. So, Twisted Fate is also first to move with a gold card. I don't know what is going on. Wait, why?
It resets.
I don't understand why they're giving this up. No,
Chovy took a ton of damage.
Took a ton of damage. I don't know why Chovy didn't go down, and then you teleport in Wukong, and then you just type LOL in all chat. Shift Enter right now. Press a bunch of Z's with the Hangul keyboard enabled. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't quite get that opportunity.
No, but it's totally fine. I mean, Deft, they're going to be the ones that get the EXP 1-2. No, they're going to get there. For
the 2. The 2
yep,
still good. It's still big.
2 EXP denied, and also Nidalee going to be much faster in the jungle now than Clid.
Yeah, she's going to hop the wall. Go to her Crux. They're going over there. They're both pretty low.
Yeah.
No leashes. In this one, no top laner decided to TP or anything like that.
Very unsure why the lane is at this state. Also, the comment on Malphite strikes me as so bizarre because there's no universe where he probably wants to actually go AP. I think if he goes AP, he's trolling. And I'm not talking about Trundle.
Okay.
But I'm very, very surprised that he doesn't just either have press the attack or grasp, I guess, if he would want to go down that route.
We've questioned a lot of choices. We questioned the Scorch at the same time. So there's that. I suppose he really wants, he went Biscuit as well, so he went Inspiration second. And he really just wants to out-sustain and out-poke the Wukong, I suppose. That would be the main reason, I guess. To try to go Arcane Common is just spam your Q and have the mana and health to win out in extended trades. I suppose you're gonna easily pick this one up. But the Trundle got the right side one, so it's not a huge deal.
Yep.
And everything is just going to stabilize after that initial level 1 shenanigan.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point right now, it seems like DRX, I mean, they're going pretty stable in places where everything should be very hard. I mean, BDD, you can see, is feeling very, very comfortable in this matchup for sure. And so, all things considered, it looks like we are in store for yet again another very slow early game.
Yeah, sluggish. Although, maybe that's not the right term because we did get that level 1 fight.
That is true.
So it didn't hesitate to get off the ground, but since then it's been a little bit of a bore.
And now this is a really good gank timing. Pioshek manages to come in here, find the golems. Clid is looking for a gank behind, but the problem is that the wave is coming into Deft, right? So
they're playing it well.
This is just the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah, okay, if you can kill them on this wave, they lose not only the wave, they also lose their lives. But with Deft having both
he's
cleanse
having a
and his flash, I mean, I don't know.
Rascal, meanwhile, over the wall. Nice escape there. Knew that he had to go forward rather than back. That would be his best escape path. And it wasn't just the cleanse. They got the heal and the exhaust out of the Yuumi.
You can see Chovy is actually trying to run down. I'm really surprised they didn't teleport in Doron and then trap with Chovy.
Now he's going to have to flash. But look at that 3-man root. But they are getting in there, trying to get him with the exhaust, but they don't have the damage. He's still alive. He's still alive. And that is going to be the end of these 3 members.
Oh, go next. Oh, go next.
TF picks up 1-0-1. Everybody's off to a fantastic start. BDD is going to get 1 free plate, but that doesn't really count in comparison to what we just saw. A massacre down in the bottom side, desperately trying to kill 200 years. It took them about 200 years to run that far down the lane, and it did not amount in a kill at the end of the day.
Well, that is... Oh, man. Let's take a look at this. This is so forced by Clid for no reason. He's trying to run away, and then Abilio says, hey, Ash, I have your ultimate.
All 3.
All 3 of them.
He gets stunned, exhausted.
Yeah, Yuumi.
Doesn't matter.
And then Trundle is trolling, no pun intended, as he tries to get the kill. Pioshik arrives, and then Chovy with the collapse on TF.
Watch this heal, by the way. Flash heal. Pioshik saves him there. And it did look like he was going to die. Concentrate. After that, after the nice.
I actually think max range Nidalee heal would have reached without flash.
He was feeling a little bit desperate.
Yeah, he wanted to just ensure that nothing went wrong, and so he flashed there anyway. But no matter what, I mean, this was such a big turn of events. The Azir is still strong in mid lane, but Twisted Fate's passive plus that kill and the assist, I could imagine that Chovy is maybe even ahead in gold at this point in time. Nice passive, by the way.
Yeah, it's definitely close, if not he's ahead. Take a look at the jungle difference in the levels. 6-4, as Nidalee went back and bought her full jungle item at level 7.
The game is so out of control, and you know, if you're Rascal, you feel really bad here because, well, he's going like AP-ish kind of Malphite. He has the Dark Seal, he has the Doran's Ring, he has Corrupting Potion, he has Comet, but you don't need to do this in order to win this lane, and then it's not going to be as valuable later. But the jungle matchup is just totally over. Click Justing 5, Pioshik Justing 7. So,
yeah,
literally on that camp, this game is such a nightmare. Cloud Dragon's the first one of the game, and for Twisted Fate, who normally doesn't get CDR until he starts going Lich Bane and Zanya's, he's going to get 10% on Destiny Gate. And for it being super early on, that is actually potentially useful to play around it off cooldown. And now, sometimes though, you can easily argue that, well, with how they play, it doesn't matter if it's immediately off cooldown, because he has it right now, but they're clearly not setting anything up. Bottom lane, Ruler has Cleanse available, but even though Nidalee's in close proximity, they don't want to go for a dicey play, it seems. Chovy looking for a pink ward there, or control ward.
Is Rascal going AP? He picked up Dark Seal. He's got a Doran's Ring on top of this. Might go Catalyst? Curious to see what he picks up here, as he's going to back now and show us a little bit more. Oh, okay, we're going to be denied that.
Yeah, and we take a look at the total gold. 3 point, yeah, so Twisted Fate is at 3.7, BDD 3.4, despite having had that turret plate. And Twisted Fate's passive is a really cool ability, by the way. It's very, very nice. And all things considered, everything's going pretty well. And yeah, okay, Malphite is finally now going into the tank. He turns the Ruby Crystal into the Balmy Cinder, picks up the Glacial Shroud. He's going to go down the Build-A-Bear Workshop route.
Yeah. I got a little confused when I saw the ring and the seal. but it's very good for the sustain, obviously, in the lane with the corrupting pot on top of it. Don't see too many Malphites here, but we'll see what kind of impact he's going to have as this game comes along. He's kind of just sitting up in the top side for now. He didn't really get a chance to TP down bot for that last play.
Well, Rascal just trying to do whatever he can, but there's no real way to set up lethal unless Wukong really consents. Bone plating is proc, but BDD actually loses the trade there. And Pyoshik's here. Yeah, BDD's got to be careful. Twisted Fate. Chovy thinking, okay, I can't actually get in range here.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would have had enough to nuke him. Even with a max range Nidalee Spear and a leap attempt, Shurima would probably come out before the stun would expire, so... Or the Azir, Emperor's Divide. Bot lane in a very unfortunate spot right now. You can see Deft is respecting the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and that life might be here. And interestingly, Ruler just instantly auto-attacking the wave, not even bothering to go about this slowly. And you can see BDD trying to follow the Twisted Fate, trying to contain him.
Yeah.
Rod of Ages has already been complete.
You have to wonder, you know, after pushing that hard, what is the next play? Are they going to try to rotate mid, look for a pick? I mean, they're sending down... Okay, they're actually rotating everybody mid, including Rascal. They got the jungler here. There's no dragon or anything. It's just the Rift Herald's going to be moving down. They want to support it. And that's actually a nice Crystal Arrow. I think the Zumi is absolutely dead as they try to CC it to death, as he did walk over a ward, and it was a really nice arrow to lock him down there. So nicely done by Ruler. Looking to turn it around now, but this is an Ashe with Cleanse and Flash. Only has to burn the Cleanse there. He's totally fine.
And the gold advantage right now only at 700. For DRX. Mountain Dragon coming up next, though. That's going to be a very big pickup, given that basically no one on the side of Gen G ever gets penetration. Ashe is not a champion that typically picks up any sort of pen items, never really gets access to any of that, and then Azir probably won't be looking to go for any sort of a Void Staff or something in this game. And you take a look at Yuumi, and honestly, that's just not fair. When you think about it, I'm not sure that's not sure that's legal.
It's not fair to Yuumi. But it was a really nice arrow, right on point. Gary actually used heal for the movement speed to try to dodge it, and it did not work. So, getting some bonus there. We saw the last time Death was down here, it looked like he was trying to freeze it, but that freeze is over now. And he's still behind about 20 CS here, so not having too much fun down in the bottom lane.
I'm just trying to CS the wave out right now. Everything just going very slow. And I mean, this is something that if we're watching this game here in the LCK, it doesn't really matter all that much that they're not utilizing Destiny Gate, they're not manipulating lane states favorable to their jungler. I mean, all of DRX's kills came off the back of Gen G donking off in bot lane.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for that, you have Twisted Fate.
Oh, Koshik.
Koshik.
He was spotted. Oh, Clint has to flash because BDD used the blasting plant to get over the wall. As now Chovy gonna flash that one, but he's got the entire team on him, it feels like. But he's got a lot of support from his team. Rascal from behind gets a big double ultimate onto the two of them, and Gen G are turning this one around as Doran now gonna come in here late. He's looking for the double knock-up on everyone. Gets Ruler. Gets actually Clid, will the Yuumi, who is still in the fight somehow. After all this, nearly picks off Dragon. And Dragon's getting in there as well. The gold card will net them another kill. As Chovy, not quite. As BDD is going to get over a wall. As that one looked pretty great to start for Gen G, but Yuumi is just a fun champion, man.
Well, Twisted Fate was known to date Lady Luck at one point, so I guess Riot is really on point with her lore here as the Dragon changes sides. Take a look at this. Chovy, he goes in, and he flashes out of the way of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, gets pinned against the wall, but remember, Rod of Ages, he's very tanky, has the stopwatch. Def, that's the 2-for-1 on the Pog fight, and then Doron eventually re-arrives to the fight, goes for the Wukong ultimate, manages to bring down Ruler. BDD not able to do a lot, back into life.
Sorry to cut you off, but we got more action coming in here as now Life is in the front line. Pioshik, a huge ultimate comes in for BDD, but where's the follow-up as Ruler was there on the left side. He's going to pick off that cat, which is going to be really nice for him, but Pioshik goes in, and now Doran's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get picked off here as DRX commit too far after picking up the Dragon. That's going to make it 4. Can they pick up Chovy? Not quite. And now BDD all of a sudden is 4-0.
This is pretty scary, as BDD, the Azir, is so big right now. And the Malphite's just going to get more and more useful as this game goes on. So Pioshik manages to land the steal, and then they could have just left. Braum is a one-man army there with the Unbreakable. Buys enough time for Azir to get in there, and then a really big problem this fight is Keria was not there, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was a very lonesome cat. And Deft goes down at the end. Chovy does manage to live, but that was almost an ace. And it has propelled Gen G to a 3,000 gold lead, which is very, very scary.
Speedy once again on his main comfort champion. The Braum sets it up, baits them all in, and then BDD knocks him down. Just caught, I think, 3 or 4 of them with his ultimate in that one, and not having a Yuumi there was pretty massive. And after that, they were able to get the mid tier 1, the bot tier 1. Top tier 1 is down. I'm not sure if they got it in that same player, if that happened earlier. But definitely Gen G have made a huge comeback into this game after a disastrous dive to start it off.
Yeah, by far and away one of the worst starts that I think that you could ever have. And they've managed to recover and salvage it so well, so it's actually really good to see their mental fortitude is really on point. And Pioshik, for someone that had a 2-level and an entire core jungle item lead, that early on, level 4, level 6, did nothing with it. So, World of Warcraft definitely being played effectively in the transition, but Gen G's resilience in the game, pretty admirable. And Malphite picks up the Frozen Heart, and that is a very scary item against DRX.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's pretty massive against almost all of them, basically all of them on the enemy side. He's going to be doing so much. He's so tanky right now. The Build-A-Bear on top of it is going to help out with shoring up some of those other resistances. They pick up Shirley here. They're going to look to take down this mid turret. They will. BDD are not BDD. Gen G are not wasting any time as a team that has BDD on it. They're just pushing down mid. Going to get as much value as possible out of Shirley. They will pick up a big chunk there. And now we might have a bit of a lull state here because there's no big objective. We have to wait a minute 30 for Ocean Drake. And that is going to be a huge focus because DRX, even though they did lose a lot in terms of gold and the mid-game after the fun early game for them, they did pick up the 2 drinks. So Gen G are going to have to be very careful about not getting those away.
And that is really going to be the only win con that really still exists for DRX, is trying to get to that Ocean Dragon. And the Soul Point. Deft is just so far behind at this point. On the Aphelios, the Yuumi is reasonably big. A little large.
Yeah.
Chovy does have his 2 items. And one of the things that would actually be nice to see is that BDD not be the only person that has the Grievous Wounds item. I think it's important for Ashe to pick up an Executioner's as well with that rune on.
Yeah.
Just because there's the Nidalee and the Yuumi on the side of the enemy team. 30 seconds until this Dragon's up. Pioshik clearing out wards in his blue side jungle. And I don't know, maybe DRX is just thinking about giving up this dragon.
They're certainly not in position to contest it as a team. You can see Koshik is slowly moving over. Chovy is around the area. He doesn't have flash. And I think he's got to be really careful, especially with Trundle Azir nearby. But it looks like they're just going to focus down the streak. And DRX will give the first one away of what could be many in this game.
And just a lot of ping pong going on now. We have a 5-minute downtime. I can't really imagine anything happening.
The official entrance into the little state.
Forbidden Love.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's me and Atlas, the little state. Now you and Atlas are going to...
No, you're the Pog state.
Own... Oh, yeah. Well.
Sure, yeah.
That is true, actually.
Yeah. The whole state was
what,
just...
have you come up with anything for you and him?
No, not yet. Maybe rollerblading crew. He's really trying to get me into rollerblading. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's a big rollerblader. And, you know, he loves to do, like, tricks and stuff. He's actually thinking about setting up a practice rail right now. In his, not inside his house, but next to his house. Or his apartment, I guess. Not sure exactly where he's going to put it. Maybe he can tell you about it tomorrow a little bit more. But we'll have to think about it. Not sure just yet. And now, Genji do have a lot of Baron damage, but I don't think they're going to try to force this. I think just the idea that they have the capability of forcing it down and maybe getting DRX out of position might be what they go for.
Yeah. Well, 3.5 minutes still remaining. Pioshek yet again with the Rod of Ages. It's at 4 minutes right now. But this last time he ended up playing Nidalee. And Clid going in there, looking for a ward.
Yeah, they're shutting down as much vision as possible, and they're gonna start it now. I mean, it's Ashe Azir, so it's pretty massive in just the two of them. The thing is that they're gonna have multiple blue trinkets. They have TF, who he's got his ultimate. It's a decently long cooldown, but you can use that every once in a while. He's gonna use it to come down here to the bottom side and do split pushing things. We've seen TF have some fun smoke and mirrors, as you like to call it, in later stages of the game, so don't count that out just yet. Okay, just a shooting star flying by. No need to worry about that.
Well, looks like maybe another Baron attempt, but TF has another blue trinket. Malphite.
TP's coming in.
Yeah, there he is. There's the big rock. Dwayne the Rock Johnson there.
Yeah. What is it? What is the thing that he says? Rock solid.
Who? Malphite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rock solid. Yeah.
Rock solid.
Never again, please.
I'm starting my career in voice acting after today. Just hit me up. They stopped the Baron though.
I'd like to. No, fine. I was gonna do something that your teammates hear. What? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't even. Let's just ignore that. Move on. 1.5 minutes until the ocean, which is the thing that DRX cannot just give up for free. Again? Well, they actually can. It's only the second one. So in theory, if they wanted to keep scaling and let Nidalee's Rod of Ages go up to 10 minutes, or 10 stacks, I suppose that they could wait and also allow time for Wukong to get to Death's Dance. Because Malphite at this point has sort of slowed down in terms of what his items are going to mean. And here we go, yet again.
TP's coming in, so it looks like DRX no.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh.
There it is. He only catches Doran, though. They should be able to get Doran. Oh, the heal comes in, but they do have enough. And now Nidalee is just going to fall, and that should be the dominoes falling one by one. The rest of them not able to get in there as Chovy says, I'm out of this. I'm going mid. I'll see you guys later. Take your Baron. I don't care.
Yeah. And Rascal's cooldown so low on the Malphite. Chovy is going to manage to get the mid-tier 1. Ocean Dragon up in 25 seconds. You see Deft going for the response onto the Scuttle Crab. They're going to try to at least take vision around the dragon, but now they're going to give this one up. Very, very unfortunate if you are a DRX fan. And honestly, I don't know how they can come back in this game outside of gimmicky backdoor attempts. And they only ended up getting Doron right there. I have no idea what Piotrek was doing on Nidalee.
Yeah.
As if he was going to add any value with a spear at that point. He just shouldn't have been there. And now coming back into live, Gen G, I mean, they're up 5,000 gold. They have double Ocean. They are pillaging the jungle. And the Baron really helped with the XP problems that were present in some of the places. I mean, Ruler now up 2 levels, 1 level in mid lane. Junglers are even, and Rascal is up 2 levels. I feel like this game is probably just over because at this point, Gen G are so far ahead, but their team comp is almost so, it's also so much easier to play. And when I mentioned earlier on that I thought DRX would win in spite of the draft deficit, that was mostly attesting to early and mid-game prowess. At this stage of the game, nothing is really going to matter. Malphite's just going to go burr.
Pretty much. He's sprinting that money right now. And he's going to be smashing his face into some enemies here soon. And they're going to rotate mid, try to take out this inhibitor, but not quite. Thinking about going bot again. A lot of low health bars on the buildings. Still a lot of lockdown and potential from the side of DRX as we try to get in there with the Doran, with the Wukong. Doesn't quite pan out as immediately BDD just says no. And Toby's just like, nah, you know what? I'm not here. I'm going mid.
And this is what their team composition is going to be reduced to, is the smoke and mirror. Over and over and over. Chovy gonna use that blue card, try to get a mana restore. Wild cards up the center, another blue card. You press Q one more time. Doesn't get them both, so not impressed.
Yeah, it's not gonna make too big of a deal in that circumstance. DRX basically just have to say, okay, we're gonna try to play backdoor stuff, of course, but also just try to wait until this game goes later and later. Still going to be scary up against a really fed Azir Ashe, but at this point, try to avoid team fights.
I mean, the Nidalee Spears just don't deal any damage to so many of the targets. She doesn't have any penetration. She's even level. And yeah, I mean, you can say that's a nice amount, but it's healed up already, so.
Double Ocean and he's Trundle, so it's not really gonna amount to much.
They have to pray to the heavens that Twisted Fate is gonna be able to do something. And teleport coming in from Chovy.
It's kind of wave clearing at this point. Gen G not going anywhere. It doesn't matter that they don't have Baron. They are so far ahead at this point. They can just get in there, take away the inhibitor, maybe go ahead and rotate to mid. TF thinking about it. They actually don't get the inhibitor just yet. There it is. And now we're gonna engage. A bit of a knockup, but it's only Doran.
Damage.
And Joseph's like, oh, well, I'll try. Ultimate gets down onto Deft, who's like, I wish I had some more mobility against this Malphite. Oh, and he's actually going to get away, and look at Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy trying his best on the right-hand side, but I mean, I don't think there's any way for them to save this. Deft is going to try to clear out these supers. And Aphelios is pretty good at wave clear, it seems.
Where'd the minions go?
Teleport coming in from Malphite. and he's about to make them mult fight as the minion, goes forward again, and that is gonna be Genji bouncing back in the series in game number 2 after such a disastrous early game start. And so it's nice to see them come into the series in game number 2, bouncing back from that game number 1 blowout.
Yeah. And it was guys like BDD that had a pretty awful first game. They were able to come back and really have a great game in that one. I feel like he was part of the reason why they won that fight around the dragon. And so it's good to see him hold on to his mental, not get too mental boom in this one. DRX doesn't seem too concerned. Even CV Max seems like he's in a teaching mood right now. He's not like, you know, time to crack the whip or anything like that. So should be an interesting game 3.
The issue, I mean, from my perspective, is there's nothing that can be gone over in really 8 minutes that I think is like critical of the game itself, because the game falls apart as a byproduct of the laners and junglers not interacting with one another, right? Just endlessly playing ping pong off the advantages. 2-level Nidalee with a core jungle item over the opponent does nothing. Twisted Fate, Destiny Gate, saving it for maybe another 200 years. Not really sure. Wukong can't achieve anything against Malphite, and he never tries to avoid the laning phase either with any sort of pressure with Nidalee or Twisted Fate. So there's so many things that are going on. There wasn't any individual key point other than like the Yuumi dying in that dragon fight in front of Dragon.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. And they were almost able to, you know, pull something back from there. And yeah, I mean, you got to be careful because Genji picked a comp that I think they're really good at, which is defending an aggressive composition. And they had Braum, Azir. Just the two of them together, you throw out volleys, pillars, you know, Malphite to eventually engage. But having DRX get baited into trying to get inside the jungle and try really hard to force that fight around the dragon after they stole it was really the big turning point. If that had not happened, then it would be a totally different game. And Genji, they played a style that allowed that to happen, a composition that made it happen, and they did a good job of responding to it.
Yeah, and Braum with the Unbreakable at that team fight, really, really good. As well as just BDD dished out so much damage in so many of the fights. He was such an integral part. And he was the one person that wasn't actually bleeding out in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have to see who does take game number 3, guys, after a quick commercial break. We'll see you in a bit.
보자 괜찮아 뽕부터.
뽕부터.
요미.
요미.
리달리 노플. 예, 본대 봐.
앞에.
앞에
노플.
투표 아직 노플.
앞에 노플이야, 앞에 노플. 앞에 노플 나.
리달리 노플. 야, 터미널 갈게.
방패
여기 봐줘. 여자 봐줘.
방패 있죠?
아, 여기
여기 봐야 돼, 우리 여기 봐야 돼.
탑가.
나 마을 있다. 나 집 갔다가 텔 돼.
잠만 천천히.
앞에 노플.
앞에 공 있어? 앞에 공 없어.
오케이, 나 방패원.
앞에 공 모른다.
나텔 뜨고 갈게. 기다려봐 좀만.
투페 이제 프로 오냐?
앞에 노플이다.
앞에 초식에 있고 투페 이제 프로 오니고 투페 고소년 사포 있다.
야 이거 쳐.
이거 타워.
다 치고. 앞에 노플이야. 앞에 노플.
끝났다.
나이스. 아 죽여. 그렇죠.
타워. 나이스.
나이스.
이번 MSG 때 젠지 만나서 1대1이긴 했지만
초반에는 저희가 좀 유리했던 구도로 갔던 걸로 기억해서 자신은 있는 것 같아요.
MSC 순위 결정전에서 졌을 때 화도 나고 그랬지만
뱀픽에서 좀 많이 밀리고 들어간 것 같아요.
DRX도 그렇고 저희도 그렇고 이번 MSC에서 중국 팀 같은 스타일의 강점을 많이 알았기 때문에 치고받고 싸우면서 되게 박빙일 것 같아요.
서머 때는 완벽하게 모든 경기 다 젠지 상대로 이기고 싶습니다.
고사이가 보여주지 않을까 싶습니다.
BDD 톱이 상대 전적이 15대 2 뭐 그렇던 것 같던데
저번 시즌에 LCK 퍼스트 팀이랑 POG 1위를 다 제가 먹었는데 제가 또 한 발 앞서 나가겠습니다.
포스트였어요? 세컨드 하시지 않았나요?
싸우는 거 좋아하시는 것 같은데 이번에 한번 박 터지게 싸워봅시다. 바텀이 승부처가 될 것 같은데 요즘 재혁이가 되게 잘해갖고
당연히 데프트 형이 이길 것 같아요.
게임이 후반까지 간다면은 이길 자신 있어.
데프트 엔딩이 많았었던 것 같진 않아서 롤러 엔딩이 더 적격이지 않나.
솔직히 그거는 예상하기 힘든 부분이긴 한데 그래도 데프트 엔딩으로 끝났으면 좋겠어요. 데프트 선수가 많이 죽어서 끝나는 엔딩으로.
어떡하죠 룰러님. 지금은 향로가 안 좋은데.
이게 저 죽여서 데프트 엔딩 만들어 보도록 하겠습니다.
요새 잘 나가던데 조심 좀 하는 게 좋을 것 같습니다.
젠지 잘하는 팀이라서 솔직히 자신 없긴 해요. 제 자신.
저희가 1승 먼저 따내고 앞서 나가겠습니다.
순위가 바뀔 때가 됐죠? 스프링 때 1, 2등 먹었으니까 곱게 내려오세요.
열심히 준비해서 좀 스프링 때보다는 이제 좀 다르게 새로운 모습도 많이 보여드리고 MSC 끝나고도 더더욱 느낀 게 많아서 더 많이 바뀌려고 노력할 것 같고요. 많이 응원해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
LCK Summer Split, and we get to see another game of Genji versus DRX as Genji evens out the series with the last big mouth fight. DRX around the Toby's twisted fate. Pyosik once again locked in Italy. So we thought that this could be an easy win comp for DRX because they already managed to pull off a win based on this comp, but Genji this time around, they tried a new comp into DRX's composition. But Malphite was not the first pick that happened in Korea's competitive scene. It already happened in Challengers Korea, but this time was the first game that actually Malphite found a win up against Wukong or an AD champion. It is well known for a counter champion into a melee AD champion, and Rascal actually did show why this was a hard counter for those kind of champions, and we had a 2 crucial team fight around the Drake. Toby started this fight without his flash, but Toby managed to kind of earn more time with his broken stopwatch, and then